Battle of the Ravine. It's here, folks. The biggest week in sports, rivalries, and good old-fashioned Tiger spirit. I'm Ben Klein, and alongside me is my esteemed associate, Kirby Von Edmonds. We've got a great show in store for you. We're pulling out all the stops this week. Kirby, tell us what we have in store.
Well, Ben, today we've got an all-star lineup, including Tanner Ward with the Henderson versus Washita Quiz Bowl, a top 5 countdown with Megan Scarborough. We'll talk to some Tiger survivors, and we'll tell you what that means. And finally, we'll sit down with some of the OBU's brightest to break down tomorrow's game. But first, Ben, let's talk collegiate sports.
The Lady Tigers ended their season with a heartbreaking loss against Harding last week, 1-0. The Bison jumped up with an early goal in the 12th minute from sophomore midfielder Melissa Minich. The Tigers couldn't find an equalizer, and Harding moves on to the championship match. The future looks bright for the team, however, as 7 Tigers were named to the All-GAC first and second teams, including Haley Hatcher being named Offensive Player of the Year.
After dropping a tough loss against Southeast Missouri, the men's basketball team got its regular season underway last week, picking up 2 home wins against Champion Baptist and Ecclesia College. The Tigers continue their season tonight at the Fort Smith Classic. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock.
The wrestling team was back in action Sunday at the Purple and Gold Duel. The team split up into 2 squads and faced off in exhibition matches. The guys get started in the regular season schedule this weekend at a quad meet in Chicago. The Tigers will face off against a variety of Division I opponents, including Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, the University of Illinois, and Arizona State University. Good luck, guys, and we'll keep you updated on the results. Well, that wraps up our collegiate update. Let's kick it now to Megan with the Top 5 special. This week, it's all about the top 5 best Henderson jokes via Twitter.
Thanks, Ben. So here are the top 5. What did the Henderson student get on his ACT? What? Drool. Oh, burn. So why did the Henderson student cross the street? Why? To get a better education. How many Henderson freshmen does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many? Actually, they can't do that because that's an upper level class. How do you get the Henderson graduate off your front porch? How? Pay him for the pizza. And last but not least, why did Henderson switch from grass to AstroTurf? Why? Because their cheerleaders wouldn't stop grazing. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Megan. And now we're going to send it out to our Action Sports Director for the annual Battle of the Ravine Sibling Rivalry Challenge. Tanner, take it away.
Thanks, Ben. Joining me now is Brittany Jones, a senior here at Washita, and her brother Josh, a junior across the street at Henderson. And we are about to embark on the Battle of the Ravine Sibling Rivalry Challenge. Let's go ahead and cue that cool graphic I made earlier. Today's challenge, Battle of the Ravine Trivia. Here's how this is going to work. When each contestant wants to answer a question, they have to raise their hand and make the sound of their respective mascot. So Brittany, that means you have to make tiger noises. And Josh, you can just go boo. Let's have a practice round. Brittany, let's hear your growl. Josh, say boo.
Boo.
Wonderful. Let's get started. First question. On which day, we're looking for a date here, was the first Battle of the Ravine played?
That was on Thanksgiving, November 28th, 1895.
Ooh, you are correct. Side note, the Battle of the Ravine was originally played on Thanksgiving Day. What's that? I'm being told that this question comes with a bonus opportunity. What was the score of the first Battle of the Ravine? Yes, Brittany?
It was 8-0 Washita.
Very nice. Next question. What is the current series record for the Battle of the Ravine?
Boo.
Josh.
41, 39, and 6. Henderson.
Correct. Next question. Over the history of the Battle of the Ravine, how many times has the game been decided by a touchdown or less? Brittany.
37 times.
That is correct. Next question. In which year did Washita beat both the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Ole Miss Rebels, but only manage a scoreless tie with Henderson? Brittany.
1914.
Oh, you are correct. Next question. What was the big Battle of the Ravine prank of 1976? Brittany.
Henderson thought they were super clever and came over and dropped red and gray marshmallows on our campus using a crop duster.
You are correct. Next question. In which year was the Battle of the Ravine called off due to flooding? Brittany.
1988.
What do you know? That's correct. Next question. In which year was Julius Pruitt's Battle of the Ravine touchdown featured on ESPN's Top Plays of the Day? Brittany.
2008.
That is correct. Well, those are all the questions I have. Let's take a look at the final score on that other cool graphic that I made. Let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. Ouachita with 825,462 points. Henderson with 1. Thanks for joining us for the Battle of the Ravine Sibling Rivalry Challenge. For the rundown, I'm Action Sports Director Tanner Ward. Back to you, Ben.
It's an elite club, the men and women who stay up all night to guard the Tiger. They brave the cold, dark night to protect our iconic mascot from the clutches of the ready students. We sent our very own Dixon Land to get some interviews with these brave souls.
Hey folks, Dixon Land out here by the Tiger. I'm here with Ellen Butler, Nathan Lohman. I'm here with Bethany Arredondo. I'm here with Pete. Ellen, tell us a little bit about your experience guarding the Tigers so far.
Well, last year we stayed out all the way till 6 a.m. and it was really cold. And I think we fought off someone who threw like an egg at the tiger or something. I remember chasing someone. Hopefully that was helpful. You know, the tiger survived.
A really long tradition since 1935, just protecting the tiger. You know, Henderson students always used to come over here, and we actually protect the tiger a long time ago with baseball bats and, you know, sticks, just anything. And but now it's just fun. It's a great student body. We're just having a lot of fun out here.
Tell us a little bit about your strategic plan for if some Reddies decide to come over to this side of.
Well, personally, my strategic plan is to go get the boys to do something.
We do have a lightsaber out here, so that'll probably be our plan A.
You've got a great setup. We got the music going. We got a bonfire going. Got the tent. What was that like preparing for this this week?
It was a lot of work, but it's fun. We like to see everybody come out. That's why we like the music, and we like to have the fire and stuff so people can stay warm and they can come out and interact. We like everybody to come out here who can. Everybody, it's not just us. We want everybody to be a part of it and just join in with us.
Right. All right, tell us a little bit about what you think the game's going to be like this week. What do you think the Tigers are going to do?
I think they're going to beat the Reddies.
All right. Well, I'm Dixon Land out here by the Tiger for the rundown, signing off.
Thank you, Dixon. Now we're going to move to two of our very own Tiger survivors here in the studio. We've got Dylan Haney and Abby Lindsay here today. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Yeah. First off, I just want to ask, how'd you guys do it? You know, how'd you stay up all night and guard that Tiger?
Well, I think, Ben, that we're both still asking ourselves that same question. It was too cold for words, honestly.
We begged, borrowed, and stole as many clothes as we could, and I actually think I have some of Jamie's clothes still from that night.
Stole items, hand warmers, feet warmers.
Yeah, I think I had 4 heat warmers in each of my shoes, and also we had, I think, 10 packages of those. Yeah. So it was
10 packages of heat warmers.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had the Old Faithful T-shirt quilt that my mom made me, so we shared that among like 3 bodies.
So it was pretty intense.
It was resourceful.
Well, guys, how cold did it get? Was it like 25 was the lowest it got down to?
I think so. And the next day, I think I saw where it was the coldest day of the year so far. So we were lucky enough to have that on our night. So
it gives you bragging rights, I feel like.
That's right. Tiger survivors.
Nobody knows until
we're part of that elite club now.
Right.
So. Exactly.
Faithfully.
Well, you know, did you guys see any ready activity out there where you were guarding? Was there ever a need for you guys to come in and guard your Tiger?
Well, it's never Battle of the Ravine week guarding the Tiger without a little action, and so I think they do it just to provoke us. But it wasn't until around the 4 o'clock hour.
It was worth staying the whole night because it was right near the end.
We were almost
Everybody
done.
just like perks up from where they were.
Take off, run. Everyone loves, you know, a little piece of action. So I think that there was just someone tagging cars in the OC Bailey
and everyone
parking
perked up and started running after them.
I think an OC Bailey member actually ran after them with a baseball bat.
I did hear that.
Yeah, campus
pretty intense.
Campus was defended.
Yes,
absolutely. The Tiger was faithfully guarded.
Yes. Well, is this your first time to guard the Tiger? We got some veterans here. What are we looking at?
Veteran over here. This was my 3rd year. So
this was my first year to stay all night. So it was definitely a new experience for me this year.
Perspective from the rookie, the first year here.
That's right.
Was it as hard as you think it was going to be?
No, it actually turned out to be a lot more enjoyable than I thought, because you go out there and it's, 8 or 9 hours total. And so you're kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to make it through the night as intense, especially as cold as it was? I was like, there's no way we can sit out here. And then, you're reaching 5 o'clock in the morning. We had someone go pick up McDonald's for us. We were still rolling on our movie collection. So it turned out to be a lot of fun.
It was all downhill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but with some pep talks from the veteran, Dylan got through it.
That's right.
We were turned up, as we were saying.
Yes, all night. all night long.
Well, okay, so guys, it was a pretty big group they had staying there, right?
We were very happy with the turnout. I think we ended up having around 25 actually stay the entire night. And we were I think last year our class of 2015 had 5, I think. So something really inspired everyone this year on the coldest night of the year to stay all night. I don't know what it was, but I'm glad they did. And everyone came out and we all hung out and bonded and had a great time.
Spirit kicking in.
Perfect. Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming on.
Sure.
We appreciate your service, your dedication to staying out there and keeping the Tigers safe. But now we're going to kick it to our professor segment, how we're going to break down the game and just see how we're going to beat those Reddies on Saturday. Now let's move to our professor prediction part of the show. We've got Dr. Jeff Ravine here in the studio today. Thank you for coming on.
Very glad to be here.
We're going to talk about just kind of the game on Saturday, what Battle of the Ravine's all about. Dr. Root, is there a weakness in this Henderson State team? They're coming in 10-0 and they are averaging 54 points a game, holding opponents to just 19 points. Is there a chink in this Reddy armor?
It doesn't look like there's much of one, because they are undefeated and they've played so well offensively. They've played well defensively too. I do believe that Ouachita is going to be able to score. Ouachita's had a strong offense also, as we know this year, and so I think Ouachita is going to put some points on the board. It then just comes down to how much you can slow down that Henderson offense, and I have great faith in the Ouachita coaches. So they've got a game plan put together offensive and defensively, and we'll have to see what that is. But one would think that if you're going to be able to stop this outstanding Henderson quarterback, you're going to have to put a little pressure on him.
Right. And, it's talking about that Kevin Rogers, Henderson's quarterback. He's putting up some insane numbers. But what is Ouachita going to have to do, defensively, offensively? What are they going to have to do to come out with a win on Saturday?
Well, a young man that's a major in our department that I know, Ben, that you've had class with, Antoine Patterson, has been Player of the Week a couple of times in the conference because he puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He leads the conference in sacks. I think he would love to have a big game in his last game on campus, and I think that kind of pressure on the quarterback is what you have to hope for. Now, he's a great quarterback, and he'll have some outstanding plays, but anytime you can hurry him up a little bit, then you've got a chance of making interception number 10 for the year. He has thrown 9 so far, so he's averaging a little bit less than 1 per game. If there's a chance they can pick a few off, then they've got a chance to turn things around. Ouachita's offense, obviously, I think is going to want to hold the ball a lot, limit the number of touches that the offense for Henderson will have, drive down, run the ball when they can run the ball, pass the ball when they need to pass the ball, score when they have an opportunity.
Right. Ouachita seems like a team that's going to have to come out, hit the ground running almost, maybe come out and hit this Reddy defense in the mouth and maybe just stay on top and keep the clock rolling. But let's just talk about for a while, what is in the water down here in Arkadelphia? They've got, between Henderson, Ouachita, and Arkadelphia High School, we're looking at a 27-2 record on the year. I know you cover Arkadelphia High School football. Just just talk about how great this
Absolutely, and if you add Gurdon also in Clark County, then that's another 9-1 team. So everybody in Clark County is doing very, very well. Well, the Badgers are undefeated on the season, perfect record. Of course, their head coach is a former Ouachita defensive coordinator, J.R. Eldridge. Their offensive coordinator, former Ouachita quarterback, and Eli Craner. And then they have some Henderson alumni on that coaching staff, too. They've done a super job of putting some very talented players in the right position and developing in them right attitudes and an understanding of what they want to do in every game, and they've been dominant at the high school level. And then, of course, Ouachita and Henderson have both had outstanding season. Ouachita, I think, is just a couple of plays away from being undefeated itself, and so this really will be a great game. It will not be one-sided, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, right. I guess our last thing here is, what is your prediction for the game on Saturday? Try and be as little biased as you can. How do you think the game's going to shape up?
I cannot be unbiased. I will not try to be unbiased. I've seen the Ouachita team play all season long, obviously. I know how good Henderson is. I think it's going to be an outstanding game. But I do believe that Ouachita will win by a field goal. Matthew Ehas is going to come through with a field goal in the last minute of play, and Ouachita is going to win 31-28. That's my prediction.
You heard it here first, folks. Ouachita is going to come away with it 31-28 over the Reddies off a Matthew Ehas kick. Well, that's all the time we've got. Thank you for coming on the show, Dr. Root.
You bet.
And that's all the time we've got from the Professor Prediction part of our show. Thanks. That just about does it for us here at The Rundown. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TheRundownOBU for updates. And feel free to tweet at us for ideas for upcoming episodes. We can't wait to see you all at the game tomorrow and take down that Ready Spirit. For Kirby Von Edwins, I'm Ben Klein telling you to keep it sporty, Washita.